Hey guys, today we're going to be learning how to do no comply shove-its. These are a variation of the no comply, so of course you want to have your no complies on lock before you do these.
Understood, I know.
We have done a trick tip on no complies before, so be sure to check them out and learn them before you tackle these ones. But without further ado, let's get into them. Now for no comply shove-its, you want to have your no complies on lock because the first part of the trick is comprised entirely of that initial no comply pop and movement. As in, you're riding along with equal pressure, you take one foot off the board, your front foot, and then you allow the unequal balance of pressure to pop the board up, and you allow your back foot to guide the board around to do a 180. That's the first part of the no comply shove it. So for the first part of the trick, you're gonna be in your no comply stance, as in you'll just be riding like you normally do, like this. And then you're gonna have one foot or your back foot on the tail of the board, and you're gonna have your front foot around the middle of the board. Now, when you actually go into your initial no comply setup, from the no comply, we know that we're gonna step off this way. And if, keep in mind that I'm a goofy rider, and if you're a regular, then you're gonna step off this way. So, to me, I'm goofy, I step off this way, and that unequal balance of pressure will pop the board up, and you're gonna use your back foot to guide the board around to do a 180. Now, that's for no complies. Now the difference with the no comply shove it as compared to the regular no comply is in the no comply 180, you're gonna do that 180 pop and you're gonna follow through with that guiding foot in order to land on the board. But with the no comply shove it, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do that 180 pop, and then when your foot gets about right here, you're gonna lag behind. Your foot is just gonna stay there and it's not gonna follow through. So you're gonna pop, you're gonna stay about, your guiding foot's gonna stay about right here, and you're gonna let the board do that 180 rotation in the air. Now as the board is doing that 180 rotation in the air, that's the time that you're gonna actually jump off of the opposite foot. The opposite foot compared to your guiding foot. So once again, for the no comply shove it, you're gonna pop, and then you're gonna guide it just a little bit, and then you're gonna lag behind and let your guiding foot stay behind here. And as the board does that 180 rotation, you're gonna hop off of this foot as that foot lags behind, so you're gonna land like this. So this is why it's so important to get down that initial 180 pop solid and consistent, because with 180 no complies, you have more control of the board since you use your guiding foot to guide it the full 180. However, with this trick, you're only guiding it through the first part of the rotation, and the board flies on its own, which is why it's a bit more tricky than regular no comply 180s. It's really important to have that initial pop on lock and consistent before you try to jump it. You do run the risk of credit carding yourself, as in, if you have a longer board, you do run the risk of slamming down on the board crotch first. Obviously, that's really painful, so my method for avoiding being credit carded was to generally take it slow with this trick. You want to work your way through getting that initial 180 pop down solid before you actually start trying to commit and jump fully into the trick. You can try it, you might get it faster, but generally when you want to learn this trick, you might want to take it a little bit slower. That's my advice. You'll get it eventually with a good amount of practice, but to avoid that type of injury, you want to make sure you got that 180 pop really down solid and it lands in the same place every time, and then you can start practicing the jumping. Next I'll go over a really good way to practice this trick without actually fully committing. Now for me, a really good way to practice this trick without fully committing and to avoid any serious injury is to practice the initial popping motion first. As in, you go into that 180, but you don't fully commit, but yet you still step into the trick and land on the board correctly. So I'll show this now. You want to practice this motion and get it down solid, like that. So After you get that motion down solid, you can actually start stepping on the board. And you want to go like that, and then step on the board. So when you jump, you kind of have to anticipate where the board will land, but it will obviously come with a lot of practice. Like, you need to do this trick over and over and over again in order to kind of gauge where the board is going to land. You have to get a natural feel basically as to where the board will land. So again, practice like how I showed you earlier, and eventually you know, go deeper and deeper in trying to get the trick more fluidly, and you'll be able to get it. Alright guys, that's it for the No Comply Shove It. Get out there, practice hard, be safe, and wear a helmet. You gotta be sure you're jumping high enough to clear the board as it's doing that 180 rotation in the air. Definitely go through that slow-mo I provided in the beginning of the video to really study what my body is doing in relation to the board. It will really help you gauge where to land or anticipate where to land, and it'll really help you prevent any injury while doing this trick. So thanks guys, and until next time.